In this training, we will be addressing project phasing. We'll talk about what this requires, if it applies to your project, and how to stay in compliance. What are the phases of a project? All broadband infrastructure projects are broken up into distinct activities called phases. These phases define work that can be done and costs that can be incurred based on grant progress. Phases are decided on by the OIT grant manager and grantee program director and are based on each individual project's scope. OIT grant managers will authorize the commencement of each phase in writing. If you do not have written authorization from your OIT grant manager to commence a phase, project costs for that phase may not be reimbursed. What are example phases of a project? Broad examples of phases could include planning and design, including final engineering reviews and material and subcontractor sourcing, permitting and environmental, which might include railway crossing permits and submission of environmental documentation, installation, including pole replacements, cable installation, and system operational testing, and an acceptance phase, which might include things like third-party certifications, handoff to operations, and formal project closing. Please note that these are only examples. An individual project may have more or less or very different phases depending on the scope of work. For all projects, prior to incurring costs on any phase, the grantee must get written approval to begin the phase from their OIT grant manager. For example, if a grantee is wrapping up the final engineering review and would like to submit and pay for a railway crossing permit, they must reach out to the OIT grant manager for approval to start that phase. If costs for the permit are incurred prior to written approval, those costs may not be subject for reimbursement. Does project phasing apply to my project? Yes, all CBO projects require tracking phases. So what do I have to do? On initial grant setup, you and your grant manager will work together to establish phases for your project. When you are ready to begin the next phase, submit your request to your OIT grant manager with enough time for a comprehensive review. The OIT grant manager may need to ask additional questions or review engineering or progress reporting before responding to your request. So requests for commencement should be submitted far enough in advance that your project timeline is not delayed by the review. Thank you for your time today and your commitment to learning more about the compliance requirements around the Advanced Colorado Broadband programs. Please reach out to us with any questions at advance_cbo@state.co.us.